Good evening. Thank you for joining me on What Remains of Edith Finch. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. I've played this game before. Not for a couple years, but I'm aware of it. I love Giant Sparrow. I played through the Unfinished Swan in this game, or on this channel, and I've expressed my love for this development team. And I'm so excited
A
to
lot
do
of
this
this
again.
isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
See, the thing about walking simulators is they tell a good story. Just,
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
it's just a museum. I really wanted to play around in the settings first.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Mm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I gotta do it now, though. I gotta check everything. Why is everything good? Do I want VSync on right now? It's just a little stuttery for me. Now it's a little blurry, but I guess I
I
prefer
hadn't
that
been
over
back since
stutter.
my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I didn't get a lot of time to talk in the beginning. I love this game. I don't know how
The
I'm gonna
truth is,
react to this on camera,
even after
being
I
that I
inherited
played
the
this
house,
and 100%ed it
I never
before.
thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Yeah, I've 100%ed this game
The
on
woods around the house have
Xbox.
always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Looks like Edith is gonna be doing most of the talking today, huh? It's okay.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Oh, good. Beautiful. I gotta do something though. I'm sorry. Oh, this will give me a chance to. Oh, hello. This game is art. Okay. That's what walking simulators are meant to do, is be art.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Oh, I just wanted to pop that achievement. There's only 9 of them, so I read through them before I launched the game. I'll see if I can remember to do them all, but I'm not gonna like stop and examine the list. It's all stuff I can go back and do in 5 minutes. Yeah, this game is art, and that's what Giant Sparrow does, is just make art. And it's just so nice. It's so nice. I'm glad to have the opportunity to play this one more time on camera. weird. There's all these missing posters. Just gonna have to find out. Also, a walking simulator where you can one, see your feet, but two, like just see the rest of your body,
As a child,
including
the
being a
house made
woman
me
and
uncomfortable
being
in a
pregnant.
way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
I don't think I can get in through here, right?
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Swing set. Hello? Oh, I think I skipped a dialogue or
Crawling through the
two.
doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
The cat's got the zoomies right now. Um, I can just smell this room. I don't know about you, but I had like a tree house that my dad built. This is the interior. This like was like pressboard. It was also used as a shed, so yeah, storage and stuff.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Oh my god! Please put headphones on. The footsteps on this
But
floor.
instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Dude, look at that toaster. Ooh. So, do I have a flashlight?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Are you saying this doesn't look abnormal? Like, I'm not judging. It's beautiful. But it is not. Like an archway of books surrounding a peephole door.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
That's a very unfortunate texture. It's very 2D.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
It's tragic, man. That hurts. No, 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 no. Do it again. Do it again. I won't touch anything.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
he totally just... It's just the house settling. Look at all these books, man. This is Infinite Jest, Time and the Gods, The King in Yellow, The King in Yellow, Labyrinths, Metamorphosis, The Weird. Those might be keywords. Unfortunately, it's a lot of copy paste. But that's okay. There's a lot of books here. I can't expect him to think of that many non-infringing titles that
The
could also
table was
fit the
still wrecked
characters.
from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Imagine just remembering that, and then just coming back to this how many years later? Literal snapshot of your past. Great. Can I go upstairs?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So nice. So is this where you want me to go? Do I pick the order? Does it matter? 1950 to 1961.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Gregory, 76 to
As a kid, I
77.
just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Why? 1976 to 1977, but it's a fuzzy bathroom. I don't get it.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room,
Is the
I was
grandpa,
10 and she was painting my portrait.
grandpa and grandma, I would guess. Sven and Edie. Well, I bet you lived to be 95. Crazy. I think my grandmother made it about there too. Hello?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Is this it? This could be it. And just like that, the
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
it's just so well designed because it's all one like
From the
continuous.
paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Okay, yeah, so it is a specific order of,
Just like I
things
had
you
no
have to do.
idea where all this was gonna lead.
You can't just pick where you want to go.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. I think this is it, right?
December 13th, 1947.
47.
Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Don't do it, kid.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Oh, you fucker. Oh no, it's just a carrot, actually. Never mind. I was thinking for some reason like pellets. So I was disgusted when she reached into the bowl, but
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
not Christopher. A starfish? Like a living starfish? Well, not anymore. Killed it. Alright, what else can I snack on? What do I munchy munch? Berries?
I kept eating and eating.
Oh no, 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 don't. Don't. Oh. The holly
I ate a lot of
berries.
things that night.
You ever bitten into a holly berry? I'm not. I don't think you're supposed to.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Don't eat the bird, please.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
I just get it. I'm lost actually now. Oh, I'm a fucking little kitty cat. Shit.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oh, I don't have little kitty cat feet. That's a shame. That's a goddamn shame. Oh, oh, oh. Get over here, fucker. I'll eat your babies. I saw that nest. Where'd it go? Yeah, I see it. Lucky.
I jumped and I almost got her.
It was a Wolverine jump, that shit. That's...
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Yeah.
Now I was up in the big tree.
Oh my god, where'd you
I
go?
promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
You went up? Oh my god, kitty cat.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Do you? One of the achievements is here. It's got to do with... Oh,
Rabbits.
nice. Just ate a whole ass
Imagine
fucking
his
rabbit.
face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Something bigger? What? Alright, kid.
A mama rabbit.
Mama rabbit. Yeah, let's fucking get it. Let's get it, kid. Yeah. Got the achievement.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Dude, I had pet
Suddenly,
rabbits
I
before.
was a shark.
You ever just be a shark by accident? It's happened. Moana. Oh my god. I should be playing I Am Bread. What am I doing?
I rolled off a cliff and
Oh,
into
I was
the
just got
ocean.
hit by a car.
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
I'm a fucking shark. What do you know? What do you know about being a shark?
I wanted fat, juicy seeds. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Alright. I'm a little kraken guy, I see.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I
Uh-oh.
was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Yeah, man, I mean, you're on a roll. You fed your hunger. Guess I'll go for this guy.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water,
Bitch,
I
imagine
swam
if you got dinner, it wouldn't have
something I
mattered.
had to have,
You're just
so I
hungry.
swam towards it.
You're just gonna keep on eating until you devour the world.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Hold on, I'm gonna canonically tie myself up in this. There. Going up. Coming out the toilet. Gross.
I got
Oh my
closer and
God.
closer.
This is her bedroom.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
So, what killed her? Because that's the point of the game, right? Is you find a memento, in this case a journal entry. It might always be a journal, I'm not sure. I don't think so. It might be a picture and stuff at times, but we're gonna find things and it's gonna unlock a memory where we play as the person we're remembering, experiencing their death. What was under that bed? I don't think I've ever thought about that. Like, actually, is that a kitty cat?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. Lake trip. Why is that the only one in red? Why is she specifically marked?
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Mole man living under the house.
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
This is the bathroom. This is the bathroom that's marked.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Gotcha. Okay, so
It was a pretty big trace.
what was it, like a failed marriage or something? Secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edie Finch. It's such a good
There's
idea.
a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
It's so good. Like, what? I think I missed something in
Sven
there.
gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
I need to be more like that. Excuse me. You don't have to push that hard. You got Calvin and Sam. So this is the first room that was blocked off, according to what she said, because Calvin died? but they lived together for 7 years, so she blocked off just his half of the room. And I guess after he moved out of the room, this became the
I knew
first
Grandpa Sam had a twin,
tomb.
and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Dude, what? Okay. The achievement for Calvin, because he wanted to go around again, is to make you play it again. Just so you know.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
He doesn't have his own command center.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
So good.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
No, 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 no. How could you not when this is her room? You look in and you see that, and you think, yeah, that's a child star right there. There's nothing else you could think.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Labyrinth. Just like the name of that book. See, that's what I'm saying. Keep an eye out for like weird things. Like there's Oliver Twist on the wall. That could just be because it was something you're allowed to put on the wall, but like Alice in Wonderland, Siddhartha, yeah, some of these are just in the public domain. Hollywood Workout. That actually doesn't sound like something that should be in a little girl's child star room. Twice. Let's not dig into that. First time I played this, I didn't understand what I was
Of all
doing
the stories people
exactly,
wrote
I
about
don't think.
Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
So I didn't process this as much as I should have, I don't think.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Or I just don't remember it.
As a child,
Sounds like he's gonna
star,
lay it out
Barbara was
pretty
famous
plain.
for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was
Shut the fuck up,
Barbara's
boyfriend.
father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also,
Are you
I loved
serious?
your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box.
Oh, good.
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
That's hilarious.
I'll be back in a sec.
You think I could have solved that without needing
20
to
minutes
do that?
later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Also, the problem is you have to have the music box playing. Is that the actual Michael Myers music?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
This is just instinctual, you know? You see a pool table. Dude, what? Sorry, I need to do the achievement. That's probably why I don't remember it, because I probably instinctually did that the first time and I didn't have to play it again.
Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
What?
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
There's no actual pictures in the frames right now.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara
Dude,
turned,
are you
saw
fucking
the
serious?
footman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he realized he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
No way. No way you're gonna do it, Barbara.
She played her part beautifully.
Barbara, no.
She
No.
thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Can't abandon Walter?
Wally's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
No.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
That scared the shit out of me, even though I pressed the button.
was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
I don't understand. I mean, I think at the beginning of the comic it said something about, like, what is it? It was like an exaggerated story of her life. So I guess instead of a room full of monsters, she just got killed by the hooked killer. But that means she was violently murdered in her house, fighting off a murderer with a hook. And that was in 1960. 1960. And this is like 2017, I think this game takes place in. Wow. Just wow. Rough. Let's get out of here. So does that mean that memory is actually
I guess
optional?
now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Probably not. Yeah, now I know how to get into the fucking room.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Yeah, like she threw a guy off, or well, got a guy to fall off this ledge. And they got murdered right there. And we just live with it. It's just what we had to do, was live with it.
It's funny.
Molly always
All those
seemed like
times
a
I
girl
played with the
could
music
imagine
box
being
and
friends
never
with,
found the basement
if she
key.
hadn't died in
Hello?
1947.
I'm not sure what was for what. I heard something about a key and then something about something else. It's okay. I know how to open the door now. Wow. I rigged everything else up. They might as well have done it at that. I wish I had a flashlight. Put it up a tick, right? I just hope it doesn't look flushed out. Even though some gruesome shit happened down here. I guess not really, just Grandpa's hand got cut.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Interesting.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Remember that thing about someone living under the house?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Hmm.
She
Gotta
said
give the
after Barbara
black some
died,
room
he
to
got
breathe.
as far away as he could.
Jesus Christ.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
Yeah, the routine
Having a
is
schedule,
definitely...
living for today.
I guess making sure that
I
the
always
day...
expected to be dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if you wait long enough,
76?
you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
2005.
Whatever that thing was,
Look at the
it
liver
was
spots
gone.
on his hand.
Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
That book said the cackling curse.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Yeah, how did Molly die? I mean, Calvin killed himself throwing himself off of a fucking cliff, so like...
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Isn't that interesting? You start off saying the routine is keeping him sane. And by the end of
Whatever's
30
out there,
years, he
I
said
want you to know I'm
he
ready
didn't
for
want
it.
the routine.
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Ah,
I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
I was gonna say something about him being on a train track, too. I just didn't put it together. I don't even have words. I'm like,
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
it's just a painting.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
What was the year the first time he went down there? Was that like 1967 or something like that? 1969? He was less than 20 years old when he went down there.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
I
Maybe
recognize
it'd be
the
better if
beach.
all this just died with me.
Well,
But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
I mean, the only unrealistic one so far is Molly because it was a dream. We don't really know what killed her, but I mean, maybe it was the murderer. Hold on. She died in 1947, she died in 1960, so there's a 13-year difference. I was about to say, imagine it was the same night and they both got killed on the same fucking night. And just to Molly's eyes, it was a monster under the bed when really it was just a hooked man that just gutted her sister. Wow. It's not, but imagine. I really just...
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Oh, I can't peephole through the other way. It only works the one way. There's the swing.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. Three of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
That's the rough part about the pet cemetery is that exact thing.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Died 2 days after her birthday.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Wait, like they lived there? They lived at that house?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gregory was 1. Well, yeah, almost 2. And Gus was 13. And Sam was 33.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
2010.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. Could have came a few weeks earlier. Yeah, what? That's so dangerous.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Like having a fire pit on a wooden deck 5 feet from your door.
They
I don't know,
were
guy.
pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
That's amazing. Alright. Experience some more sadness. 1950 to 1983. Was at 33 years old as the guy that had 2 dead children before he died. I think that's how it went. That was the 1-year-old and the 13-year-old that were next to him.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Sir.
Definitely should not.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I think I already... There's an achievement in
You know who else
this.
thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
I'm just seeing if there's anything...
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Where is it? Where the fuck is it? You shooting something?
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Dawn!
Oh, I was supposed to listen to this whole fucking monologue. That's what I was supposed to do. I'm such a fucking idiot.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try
No.
not to...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
I rushed through that one a little too quickly. I understood the assignment, so I just kind of did what I needed to do, and I wasn't listening. So who was the girl in the picture? I wasn't listening to her name. Was that Dawn? Or was that Kay? I wasn't. Theodore Food Buddy. Vood Buddy. I don't know what that means. Works with any something. Well. Of course he has MREs stashed away in the attic.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
This is Sam's son. I'm guessing. Petitioner wife Kay Carlisle, respondent husband Sam Finch. Yeah.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Dude.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
My first time playing this, that was when I really got the gravity of this game. Was it right about there? I mean, Calvin's hits hard for sure.
I can't
More
imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
6982 is the 13-year-old brother now? Come on.
a poem for Gus,
With
who always
the
said the wedding
kite.
was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Wow. How old was this kid? 13?
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Storm came?
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Cool.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Is that what happens? Where do I go? Sorry, I don't mean to get frustrated. Oh, shit.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta.
Oh, there's
where she met my
Sanjay.
dad, Sanjay.
Oh. I wish I knew that was your dad when I walked past his grave. I didn't even think about it. Was it Sanjay Kumar?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Are we doing the thing?
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Milton, Lewis, and Edith. We each got our own personal gardens.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
I don't know if anybody's ever had these bins, but they're both amazing and they suck at the same time. They were spider pits, but they allowed you to keep shit outside very conveniently.
For a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
So,
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
this is another reason I love this game. Just, his name is Milton.
After
1992.
Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Look familiar? It's the fucking... It's the kid from... just from The Unfinished Swan. I said when I played that game that I didn't want to play this like Edith Finch right away. Because I needed to get this out of the way before I played the this part of the game. I never realized. That's crazy. This is the first level. This is the all white level. This is like there's a challenge to blindly walk it. And you have to walk through that part to get through to this area. Well, somewhere over here, but this is a little further into the level. You can go back into my playlists. I have a playlist with all of the short one-sitting games I've played. I've done a few of them. And The Unfinished Swan is in fact one of them. Although in that game he's a little blonde boy. I think. He was born the year my brother was born. Sorry, I love this music so much. I need to see if it's on like Spotify or something because I need to listen to it.
The magic paintbrush.
Literally. What a psychopath, dude. He made a flip book of a guy making a flip book?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
There's only a few names left on this page. I see, so the leaves, Sanjay, Kay, those are the spouses married into the family. This game's going fast. Sorry, I need a break. Oh, the music stopped. I don't want to leave.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Imagine this being your bedroom, dude. Like, this is the door he painted. Look, look. Wait, actually, I don't understand the order of the footsteps here. He was standing like this. Like he was walking towards it. I guess he could have started here. Done this. Went up. Weird.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
What does that mean? Wow. Yeah, like, growing up with this view, like, your bed is right there. And you're just seeing that while you go to sleep. That's the dream. Milton. Being Milton is the dream. And possibly he's still alive, which means... Because who knows, maybe the Unfinished Swan is actually... Oh yeah, maybe
Mom definitely
it's his
blamed
dad.
Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After
I
he
like
graduated,
Lewis.
he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Lewis is a heavy swinger.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Legalized marijuana. Died when he was 22? Is that what that is? Christ, man. 22 years old. I might have played this when I was 22. No, probably closer to 24. And it's really funny that the
Lewis's
stigma.
room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Like, hookahs are awesome, sure. But they don't necessarily. Like, not everyone that smoked weed had a hookah. I guess if he's chilling inside playing
Lewis and I spent
Wonderland
a lot of time
Turbo.
playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
the PlayStation controller on an SNES case. This is from his job, the locker contents.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small,
Love this part.
imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names.
Oh, and I got
He knew it was
confused.
all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
I probably did the other one last time, so that's cool as shit.
The prince was on his own quest for...
Yeah, let's go see some rainbows.
Radiant rainbows.
Work at a cannery to see something good for once. Damn.
He followed the sound of his...
Let's keep going left. Fuck it.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis. the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who had insisted on inviting me. His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I'm just gonna take a moment. I have a lot of thoughts about that. Apparently none that I can fucking vocalize.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Hello?
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Open.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
I'm sorry. I'm also apologizing a lot this episode. I knew what I was getting myself into when I pressed play on this game. But You know,
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
when it drained the ocean?
The lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
So this is even before Grandma Edie.
Thought I'd go back to it.
This house is
When
from,
the fog
wow.
moved in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
We're gonna sit through the credits. Normally I talk and end it as they roll. Johan's name, thank you, dude. Got me the achievement. That's what I'm here for. Not really. These people deserve every bit of praise that they got from this game. I don't even know if the music here is copyrighted, but I don't think I care. That's a scary picture. I'm sorry. That's a scary picture, though. So yeah, I only verbally made it about halfway through that fucking game, but we did it. We got through. It was very important that I played this. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. These videos are long, but I guess if you're clicking on a game titled Full Game, you're kind of looking for a long video, so I appreciate sticking around for the end of the credits, of me just kind of crying, staring at a bunch of baby pictures of people that exist. Um, I think I said it already, I appreciate it that you watch this, but this was really more about me. And, I needed to play this. Thank you.